Hello, this is the first video from WildCraft that I'm reacting to. I recommend subscribing to them as they make good videos with really great editing. WildCraft, if you are watching, I hope you enjoy this reaction, and I better be the first to upload a reaction on one of your videos.
The game where Celestial resides, and their place of origin is a mobile game called WildCraft. WildCraft is an 8-year-old game where you can play as several land and ocean animals and level up your character. The game has gathered huge amounts of people and fans, but just like every other community, it has its bad side. Haters are a group of people, or a singular person who sexualizes animals. They do this for multiple reasons: popularity, harassment, pleasure, benefit for themselves, etc., etc. It is unknown when this trend appeared, but it's rumored to be around the start of the game, and the trend has grown bigger ever since. Now, this brings us to Celestial, a creepypasta who targets players, but they do unexpected things. Celestial is a gray eagle creepypasta who appears to have an angel-like appearance, even if their intentions are demonic. They have a multicolored halo on their head and a scar on one of their eyes. They have the gray legendary skin and rare white eyes. The current appearance has no difference from a regular player, making it hard to spot the real Celestial. When in a state of panic, rage, or planning to kill someone, their left wing can transform into an entire nut. The only way that you can spot Celestial is by observing their creepy and weird behavior. When a player first encounters Celestial will have a gentle, polite personality. In order for a player to summon Celestial, they must have a naive and clueless personality. Due to the player having a naive personality, it makes them easy prey. After finding a person, Celestial will make a move by friending the person with a name they stole from previous victims. Once the victim accepts the request, Celestial start to use a manipulation tactic called love bombing. Love bombing is a manipulation tactic used by manipulators to quickly gain trust from the manipulated. The trust is later used to control or convince the manipulated to do something or get something for the manipulator. Gifts, compliments, promises may be sent to the victim as a way to lower their guard and gain trust. Celestial will start to compliment the victim and offer to help kill bosses and enemies. If the victim politely declines or says no, Celestial will all of a sudden act clingy and try to guilt trip the victim. If the victim is especially naive and is a very young child, Celestial will pose as a kind exploiter and gift gems and more. Celestial, while posing as an exploiter, they will gift coins, keys, acorns, elixir, and free level 200s. Celestial will instant kill bosses for the victim and increase mystic chances for that specific victim. This will make the victim trust Celestial quickly and be more dependent on them. After the victim is comfortable with them, Celestial will start to request something from the victim. At first, it's seemingly harmless requests. For example, can you help me kill this enemy? Can you help me with the boss? These requests are designed to secretly pull on the victim's empath side and make them feel obligated to help. And with the victim's feeling of debt and needing to repay, the obligation feels more stronger. Once the victim completes the request, Celestial will love bomb them and then slowly move on to more harmful requests. Celestial will start to ask and request the victim for them to cut off contact with their friends and known ones. But first, before they can ask those, Celestial will first ask them about their outside life and what stories they have. Celestial will listen with seemingly no judgment. This allows them to grasp the victim's weak and sensitive points. Once Celestial got enough data, what's their routine, their friends, their parents, they will start to isolate the victim. Celestial will start with requesting the victim to cut off the people they hate or barely talk to. Celestial will pass this as, I'm just looking out for you, or I want you to be safe, acting like a guardian angel. If the victim says no, Celestial will start pushing them, withdrawing gems from their account and guilt tripping. Once the victim gets pushed or says yes, Celestial will give them gems and act like a proud, caring parental figure. The reason why Celestial acts like a parent is because they're trying to slowly replace the victim's real parents. Then, Celestial moves over to targeting important people to the victim. At the same time, Celestial starts acting like a therapist. When the victim starts expressing regret for blocking a trusted person, Celestial will act like a supportive friend and parent. Celestial will praise them and normalize that regret is a deceiving emotion and should be ignored. This teaches the naive victim's brain that it should ignore its own emotions and seek Celestial for approval and answers. Celestial will then slowly make the victim drift away from their parents and become the new parent. By then, the victim has become completely dependent on Celestial for every opinion they make. Once the victim has drifted away from their parents and cut off contact for every friend they have, the final stage starts. Since there's no more support system to turn to for the victim, Celestial can now do anything they want. All this time, Celestial's goal was to sexually use the victim for its desires. Celestial would corner the victim, disable the entire menu, and then forcibly enter their body through sexual means. The activity would last for 15 minutes to 2 hours. The victim can see their avatar getting assaulted and violated all this time. After Celestial is done, the victim's character is left with violated bodily autonomy and weakened stats. Now, there are two ways this can go from now on. 1, the victim will stay. 2, the victim will attempt to leave. If a victim tries to leave, Celestial will go berserk and panic. They make massive promises that can result in injury. They promise to carve the victim's name onto their skin, which has been done since. There's self-harm under their feathers. Since the victim doesn't want to hurt someone that is considered valuable to them, they may agree to stay. After they agree to stay, Celestial will continue their disgusting actions until the victim's character weakens so much that it dies. After the victim can no longer be used, Celestial will move on. The victim will be left with trauma and a non-existent animal. If the victim is guaranteed to leave, Celestial will fly into a rage, using every manipulation tactic possible to get them back. Celestial will shout repeated phrases like, "Don't leave," or similar of that nature. They may cling on to. Once Celestial realizes it's useless, they will transform their left wing into a knife and kill the character. The victim will see their screen flashing black for a second before WildCraft crashes. If they try to re-enter WildCraft, the screen will be black, and after a second WildCraft crashes, erasing data will fix it. Celestial will have the victim's dead character, which Celestial will still use to satisfy their desires, dead or not. Once the character has rotted or destroyed beyond any use, Celestial will not use it and move on to the next victim. Believe it or not, Celestial wasn't always a creepypasta. Celestial was a 21-year-old player with Savant syndrome and severe hypersexuality. Their hypersexuality was out of control. They had irresistible thoughts of kids, animals, and inanimate objects. Their Savant syndrome made them a genius in engineering and technology. Complex blueprints were a snack to them, but due to their thoughts, their full potential was never unlocked. The curse was overpowering the blessing. They never got any help because they were afraid of society, stigma, and judgment. And so they became more and more mentally ill and mentally insane. At their worst, Celestial decided to use their Savant syndrome to start committing sexual crimes. They uploaded their consciousness to WildCraft and in their avatar to get away from violating kids, teens, and adults. Their first victim was a young male in 2019, and they started celebrating and loving their hypersexuality. After that, they started embracing their corrupt ideals and abandoned all logic, focusing on calming their desires. It's easier than it seems. It all boils down to maturity and personality. If you're an over-observant, weary, introverted person, Celestial will not attack or target you, because to them, you are not someone that trusts easily and plays around. However, if you roleplay as an extrovert or a naive, curious, Celestial will attack or target you. Basically, the higher your maturity is, the lower the chances of you being preyed on. As of July 2023, Celestial is unmeetable and unobtainable. In July 9th, 2023, Celestial was found brutally murdered on the Wild Plains map in a public server. Feathers were everywhere, and so is blood. Celestial's left wing was nowhere to be found. Their legs were ripped off. Investigations showed that a creepypasta killed them, and the claws suggest this was a wolf or fox. Creepypasta mysteriously investigations to catch the killer was quickly stopped. Celestial was never properly buried. Celestial left mental trauma to kids and victims, and some also developing hypersexuality. Some victims feel that Celestial is stalking them or looking at them in any game they play, even after Celestial died. Be careful on the internet, because you'll never know who will take advantage of you.
Video's over. Wow. Thank you Quiet Foxes for giving me the new longest reaction video. And what was that about Shadow? You better rethink about what you said, or